I used to have a crush on this guy who lives across the country. And when I say used to have a crush on him, I mean because he's an asshole and I no longer have a crush on him. It has to do with the planets and the stars and the galaxies and all that shit. You know what else has to do with the stars? Astrology.
This isn't heartbreak anymore. This is obsession. Because when someone crashes their ex's party just to prove they still matter, that's not love. That's desperation. Cierra Ortega didn't just show up at Nic and Olandria's LA event. She forced her way into a night that was never meant for her. No invite, no +1 list, nothing. Just the urge to be seen, to remind everyone she used to be part of Nic's story. And when she finally got inside, she didn't hide in the corner. She walked straight toward Nic's DJ booth, phone in hand, pretending it was all just a fun night out. Then she posted it with the song lyric, "Don't you wish your girl was like me?" That wasn't shade. That was a cry for attention. Loud, messy, and humiliating. Fans instantly caught it. Comments flooded in calling her embarrassing, uninvited, and still stuck in 2023. Because let's be honest, if you have to sneak into your ex's party to get noticed, you're not winning. But here's the thing, this party stunt, it's just the beginning. What Cierra did after that will make you question if she's spiraling or plotting something way bigger. Before we get into the chaos of that party, let's rewind for a second, because this isn't the first time Cierra's name has been tangled in drama. Cierra Ortega, the girl who walked into Love Island USA all confidence and charm, ended up walking out as one of the most talked about heartbreaks of the season. She came in loud, flirtatious, and sure that Nic Kissinger was her match. And for a while, it looked like she might have been right. They were playful, flirty, and for a brief moment, she had him. But then came Olandria. The moment Olandria entered the villa, Nic's focus shifted, and Cierra's confidence cracked.
I used to have a crush on this guy who lives across the country. And when I say used to have a crush on him, I mean because he's an asshole and I no longer have a crush on him. Anyway, he lives across the country and he's in town. He's in my city. I saw his little host story, geotagging Phoenix, and I'm like, why are you here? I feel it in my bones. I can feel it coming on that he's gonna hit me up with the like, I'm in your city type energy. And I really want him to, not because I want to see him, but because I just want to reject him. This morning when I saw he was here, I started like imagining scenarios and prepping what I would say, like fully having full-blown conversations with myself. And I genuinely had to look at myself in the mirror and just be like, go to therapy. Yeah, I don't know why I do that. It should probably be like studied in science class. I think it's because if I don't practice, like if I don't prepare myself, then I'll fold. And I have to be able to just tell myself, like, no, remember what we practiced, babe. Snap out of it.
Viewers watched it happen in real time. The smiles faded, the tension built, and soon Cierra was the one standing alone, while Nic and Olandria became the couple everyone rooted for. And the worst part, she had to watch them fall in love right in front of her. That kind of rejection doesn't fade overnight. After the show ended, Nic and Olandria's relationship skyrocketed. Brand deals, interviews, red carpet appearances, they became the face of post-Love Island success. Meanwhile, Cierra's name started to fade into the background. The Instagram likes dropped, the collab slowed down, and for someone who thrives on attention, that silence can be brutal. So what did she do? She turned the heartbreak into a storyline. One live stream here, a few cryptic posts there, little breadcrumbs to keep her followers wondering if she was still thinking about Nic. But lately, it feels like she stopped trying to hide it. She doesn't want closure anymore. She wants relevance. And if that means showing up at Nic and Olandria's events, pretending it's all a coincidence, and reminding the world she used to be the one, she'll do it. Because for Cierra Ortega, the spotlight isn't optional, it's survival. Let's get one thing straight. Cierra was never invited. Not by Nic, not by Olandria, not by the brand hosting the event. The party was an exclusive LA collaboration between Nic and Olandria and Aqua d'Avoir, one of the biggest lifestyle brands they've worked with so far. It was a celebration of their partnership, their first major joint event since Love Island. Everyone there had a reason to be there. Everyone, except Cierra. So how did she end up inside? Rumor has it she begged someone to get her in as a +1, not as a featured guest, not as a collaborator, just someone's silent tag along. And if that's not already humiliating enough,
you guys, not Cierra in the same room as Nic and Olandria last night. Seen some people talk about what she posted on her Snapchat story when Diplo was DJing. Now, who really knows if there was like supposed to be a double meaning there? But some of the Islanders were out. They were at this Synergy Halloween party. Iris and TJ were there. Iris posted that Jaden was also there. It looked like Nic was DJing. It said Nic Vans on the stage, so I'm gonna guess that he was DJing. And well, Cierra posted that she was there, and I just cannot help but think, like, did they run into each other? Was there eye contact? You know, she said a lot since being out of the villa. He said something in response to, like, questions that he's been asked about him reaching out, and we know that he basically ghosted Cierra. So it's just gotta be weird, especially when they are, like, guests of the evening. Like, they were getting professional pictures taken at this event and everything. He's literally, like, on stage, you know? I don't want to be reminded of my history with a guy, like, while I'm at a party, like, trying to have fun. But I don't know, I'm just looking at all of this and I'm like, I wonder if they had a little run-in, or I don't know. Nic and Olandria are doing so well. They are getting the brand deals. They are in their bag. I know they are too busy to care about, like, probably any Love Island drama anymore.
She still showed up like it was her night. Full glam, designer outfit, camera ready. The kind of confidence you only get when you're pretending the room doesn't know you don't belong there. Witnesses say she arrived early, before Nic even started his DJ set, and she made sure to stay close to the action. Like, strategically close. Every photo, every video angle somehow had her perfectly framed near Nic or Olandria. It didn't look accidental. It looked planned. And the wildest part? She could have just stayed home. She knew the internet would drag her. She knew fans would call her out the second they saw her face in those clips, but she didn't care. She needed to be seen. Because in Cierra's mind, being ignored is worse than being embarrassed. She'd rather walk into a room full of people who don't want her there than admit she's no longer part of the story. And that's exactly what made this so uncomfortable to watch. While Nic and Olandria were being celebrated as a power couple, Cierra was in the background, trying to remind everyone she used to matter. But what she did next proved this wasn't just about showing up. It was about sending a message, a petty, desperate, and painfully obvious one. It only took one video, one 5-second Snapchat clip, and everything blew up. Cierra didn't just sneak into the party, she made it a performance. Phone out, camera angled just right, pretending she was casually vibing near the DJ booth. But that's where Nic was. Everyone knew it, and she knew it too. When the video hit her story, the internet instantly caught it. There he was, Nic behind the booth. There was Olandria right next to him. And playing over the top, that now infamous lyric, "Don't you wish your girl was like me?" It wasn't subtle, it wasn't random, it was calculated humiliation. Within minutes, fan pages reposted it. People zoomed in, slowed it down, circled her reflection in mirrors, comparing outfits to verify. Yeah, that was Cierra. Comments poured in. Girl, this is embarrassing. She needs to move on. She's giving obsessed ex energy. And honestly, they weren't wrong, because the clip didn't look like an accident. It looked like someone desperate to remind her ex that she still exists. She wasn't dancing. She wasn't enjoying herself. She was watching them. And that one post turned a private event into a public mess. Because once Cierra hit upload, there was no going back. This wasn't a one-time slip. Cierra's been building up to this moment for months. Remember that live she did a while back, talking about a guy she used to like who was visiting her city? She said she wanted him to hit her up just so she could reject him. The internet laughed it off, but now that clip hits different because that guy sounds a lot like Nic. He had just been in LA. He'd just been seen with Olandria, and Cierra was talking about rehearsing conversations so she wouldn't fold. That's not closure. That's obsession disguised as control. It's like she can't let the chapter end. Not because she still loves him, but because she hates not being the topic. Every move Nic and Olandria make, Cierra's somehow right behind it. Same cities, same events, same brands. She's turned her heartbreak into a full-time job, and maybe that's why this whole party thing stings so hard. Because she didn't just want to be there, she wanted to belong there. To prove she still has a place in their world, even when it's obvious she doesn't. But what she did next, that's when it crossed the line from desperate to downright disturbing. After people started dragging her online, Cierra finally spoke out. She didn't deny it. She didn't even apologize. Instead, she played the victim. She said she was mourning a relationship and that she felt shut out with no closure. She made it sound like she was grieving something real, as if Nic and Olandria owed her a conversation. And that's what made it worse. Because the way she framed it, she wasn't owning up to being messy. She was justifying it. She wanted sympathy, but people weren't buying it anymore. One fan said it perfectly. She doesn't want closure, she wants attention. Because if they talk to her again, she gets to be relevant again. And that's exactly it. She keeps turning pain into publicity. Every quote, every live, every accidental appearance, it's all part of the same pattern. When people stop talking about her, she finds a new way to start the conversation again. The internet split in two. Half of the fans called her out, calling her embarrassing, obsessed, and unstable. The other half defended her, saying she's just hurt. And everyone heals differently. But even her defenders couldn't excuse how deliberate it looked, because this wasn't about healing, it was about headlines. One comment said, if she really wanted peace, she wouldn't have posted that video. She wanted attention, and she got it. And they're right. In a world where virality equals value, Cierra knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't want closure. She wanted cameras, comments, and chaos. But for the first time, it backfired. Because even the people who used to root for her started to say it. She needs help, not followers. So what was the point? Why risk her image like that? Because in Hollywood, and especially post-Love Island, disappearing is the real death sentence. Once people stop mentioning your name, you're done. No brand deals, no collabs, no interviews, and Cierra knew that. She's been slowly fading out while Nic and Olandria's star keeps rising. So what does she do? She hijacks their moment. Because even if she's being dragged, at least she's back in the conversation. That's not coincidence, that's strategy. A desperate, reckless, reputation-killing strategy.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like my feelings about it change every day, and it's so complex. Like, there's so many layers involved to it. I don't think I could ever explain it in a way where I could expect everyone to understand. At its core, I'm just a girl who liked a boy. I'm mourning a relationship and going through like kind of like a breakup almost, and like a lot of people won't understand that because it's like, oh, it's a dating show and you only knew each other for X amount of weeks. I will say about in this relationship is throughout it all, despite what you guys saw, we were both doing our fair share of flooring. Our kind of like unwritten rule was that we wouldn't ask each other about how they felt about other people, how we felt about other people. Where we found comfort and solidarity is like taking our minds outside of the villa. Like, we avoided the where's your head at, how are you feeling, and we just talked about like the most random shit. And then after Olandria had also told me like, yes, we kissed, but I felt nothing. Like, at this point, these are two people that I trust and that I care for, and God forbid I believe them. Like, I believed that what they were telling me. There's no spark, there's no chemistry, you have nothing to worry about. Like, I chose to ride with that. And was there a part of me that was like, fuck, should I be mad about this? Of course. But I think in there you have to choose what you're gonna give your emotion to. As days went on and I didn't hear from either of them, the more hurt I became. Like, I feel like when I first came out and I could appreciate the friendships and the relationships and the memories that we had all shared and find beauty in their situation, it was because I thought that like they could come out and, I don't know, I guess embrace me. But as the days went on and it just kind of felt like I never did, and like the friendship Olandria and I shared had never existed, and the relationship that Nic and I shared had never existed, like that shit hurts. Being shut down with no closure, like it's closure that I've had to provide for myself, and it's a lot.
She's banking on drama to keep her name alive, and it worked. Everyone's talking about her again, but for all the wrong reasons. After the video blew up, Nic and Olandria stayed silent. No shade, no subtweets, no response. They didn't have to say a word. Their silence said everything. Cierra, on the other hand, kept posting cryptic quotes about not being the villain and outgrowing fake people, as if she wasn't the one who walked into someone else's party uninvited. Fans noticed that too, because the more she tried to explain herself, the more obvious it became. She still wants in Nic's world, in Olandria's spotlight, in the story that moved on without her. But the truth is, she's not the main character anymore. She's the one creating drama around the story, hoping someone will still care. And at this point, it's not even about Nic, it's about validation. Because as long as people keep reacting, she gets what she wants, attention. Cierra Ortega's story isn't about heartbreak anymore. It's about what happens when you can't stand being replaced. She walked into a party that was never meant for her, filmed herself near the couple that left her behind, and then played victim when it all blew up. It's sad, it's messy, but it's also exactly what keeps her name trending. Because for someone like Cierra, silence is scarier than humiliation. And if she has to crash another party just to be remembered, she probably will. So the real question isn't if she'll do it again, it's when.